Good morning.
Hello,
Welcome to Bars and Bells. My name is Ian.
I'm Lauren.
Join us today for bodyweight strength and stretch routines that you can do all at once today at your workstation throughout the week or anytime in the kitchen at home when the music perhaps might inspire you to dance or move or wiggle. We're going to start today with our body roll series. I'll get into a tall kneel. Lauren's going to stay standing, perform from any position, and as I said earlier, maybe at that workstation throughout the week. Without further ado, here we go. At the head and neck, start by pulling the chin low and the crown of the head high, flexing at the neck. From there, push the face forward like a text neck, and then up to the ceiling. Return the crown of the head high as the chin goes low, and repeat for about 2 more repetitions, flexing, and then slowly extending through the text neck, looking up, and last one in that direction. We'll perform 3 repetitions of most of these movements, as long as I can keep track of where we are. Finish with the crown of the head high, the chin level. Next, pull down a little bit on the chin, but actually let it lift up. And then from there, we'll reverse that circle or wave as you go through that turkey text neck, chin flexion, up to the ceiling, that's 1, and then face forward to chin tuck, to face up. As you can see through Lauren's side profile, last repetition, nothing else moves except at the neck. Repeat that same pattern through that T-spine or rib cage. For that, I'll do like my hands across chest. Moderate chin tuck, just to contain that head and neck. And then from here, pull the rib cage onto the hips, squeeze your butt for support, and then push the sternum forward towards a slight back bend, and then turn that rib cage back down to the hips. Are they tight? Push the sternum forward. And one more time from that extension to flexion pose, pulling down, sternum forward, and then return to center. Reverse our wave as we'll go extension first, moderate chin tucks, then that candy cane or flexion action through the rib cage as we pull down, and then lifting back up. Repeat 2 more, that flexion wave forward, compressing down, and then that backwards extension. 1 more time. So whether it's that bra line, that T-spine area, the low back is staying stable and trying to lift from above here. Same idea in those hips, and from standing, I'll be on all 4s for a second. Same wave in the hip. An anterior tip of the hip is where the front goes forward. If we use that punch bowl analogy, we're spilling punch out of the front. Then we got to scoop up that punch with a posterior tip, where we bring the front of the hips towards the back. A couple more of those. Anterior tip, front of hips forward, and then posterior tip away. From here, could you try to link those positions together just for a couple? And if you do that, can you switch your direction? That's incredibly difficult for me, but just feeling out where that goes in that posterior and anterior direction. From here, we're going to hinge to the floor if you haven't already with me. So hinge, and we'll follow Lauren through a really quick wrist warm-up.
Hinge. Slowly make your way down to all 4s so your hands end up underneath your shoulders and your knees underneath your hips. We'll start with our shoulder shrugs first. With those wide open hands, let's gently slide our shoulder blades up into our ears like we're shrugging, and then pull our shoulders down like you're juicing an orange in your armpit. Repeat that again. Blades slide up into ears, blades slide down, and for 1 more, nothing else is moving as you do this. Your spine isn't bending. It's just those blades sliding along the rib cage. Nice. Let's keep those blades down. Now let's pay attention to our elbow pits. Can we make our elbow pits or our blood donations face forward? And then can we rotate them to face as backwards as that'll allow? Rotate elbow pits face forward. Elbow pits turn and face backwards. 1 more time, facing forward. Shoulders should still be down. Fingers are spread wide, gripping the floor. Let's gently drift our shoulders towards over our fingertips. And then take those shoulders around for a circle towards, say, the right side, then down towards your body, around to the left side, and ending up back where you started. And now switch the direction, slowly shifting that weight. As you do that, you'll feel the weight transfer through your wrists, through your fingers, through your first knuckles. Make sure that's safe and okay. Once you're back to center, press the floor away through the palm of your hand, bending those knuckles, and flick and shake that out. From there, we'll go one hand goes down normal, one hand goes down, fingertips towards you, then palm down. Other hand's just normal in there for support. Here, let's gently shrug our shoulder again, and then pull it down. And do that 2 more times. Shrugging our shoulder, pull it down. Last time, if this is really intense for you on the floor, you could bring the floor up and do this against a wall. Now that your shoulder is down and your elbow pit is gently facing forward, Ian is modeling our wall modification there. Could you sit back a little bit, keeping the elbow straight right now? And then press your fingers into the floor and press your shoulder back over. Now gently bend the elbow, maybe sit back a little bit into that. And now we'll peel that palm away from the floor and fingers flick. Switch hands. That hand goes normal, other hand, fingers towards you, and then palm down. Shrugs for 3 again, shoulder blade slides up, shoulder blade pulls down. 2 more like that. Trying to remain with a straight elbow the whole time. And again, that spine not moving. Last one, pull down. Now from there, keep the arms straight and try to sit back into that a little bit more, feeling that extension up through the front of the forearm. Then press forward. Now this time add your slight bend. Maybe you can sit back into that a little bit. And now through that bent elbow, peel the palm and then the fingers away from the floor and shake that out. Nice.
Let's get up through a gentle down dog.
Let's get up.
Lauren's cueing often of that anterior tip of hips to wake up those hamstrings. So arms extended at those elbows, fingertips heavy, as Lauren has said. Tip your tailbone to the ceiling, lift knees away from the floor. Very subtle, straighten the knees, but maintain that long spine, particularly that lumbar extension. And then, as you need and as you can, just walk your hands towards feet. Press yourself back into that hinge position, spine extended, vertical shins, and then to tall, and then shake it out. Get back to that standing position. I'll return to my tall kneel, and at that position, coming back to the theme park versions of the mobility drills for the head, the shoulders, and then the hips. Ferris wheel is next. So again, whether you envision the Ferris wheel shape this way or clock face on the wall, start by pulling the crown high and in a clockwise way for me first. So I'm going to the right, lifting up, shifting an ear towards that right side, pulling down, sliding across the bottom, towards the left, up and over, and about 2 more. The ear towards the right, pull the chin down, staying just about as tall, sliding to the other side, up and over. I don't have as much range over here to the right as compared to what I have over here on the left. Center. Relax for a second. And what we're trying to do here is just build a little bit of wiggle room each way. Pull the crown high, shift counterclockwise this time or to the left, and then pull down and shifting over to the right, up and over. The head and neck there are between 2 panes of glass still, making sure we're not out front too much. And one last revolution. If you brace your core, squeeze your bum, add that full body tension, helps isolate that movement up top. Same movements through that T-spine. Perhaps hands across ribs. Before we go, do you have a lot of this movement? Very, very easy, like a, what's that? Car sales is a, that blow up thing. Or are we rigid and stiff and can't even move it? Use your ab tension and warm up your core to mobilize through the rib cage. Hands across chest. Let's keep that clockwise direction going first. So with our butt squeezed, feet pressing into the floor, shift to the right side. Then pull that rib cage onto the hips, tighten up those abs, and then shift to the left. Then, without lifting shoulders, up and over to center, and return as we pull down. Engage those abdominals, shifting, lifting, and one more revolution. Use the breath and use your core strength to return to center. Counterclockwise, little brace, let it move, and then pull down, shift, light lift, and pull. Those rib to hip connections, mainstays of our practice here. Yep, and last one. And center. The next one's a little bit tricky from this position, so I'm actually going to stand up, and it's the fun one in those hips. So we'll open up our stance, perhaps wide in that sumo stance for you, and bend the knees just a little. It doesn't have to be low here. Doing that same action through the hips, we'll shift over to the right, pull down, shifting then left, and for a couple in a row, you might stand up a little bit, but try to make it so that the ceiling stays about that same height, that we're just trying to mobilize those hips rather than extending through the knees. Let's switch our directions here as we'll go counterclockwise now, out to the side, and then down. And just trying to create that nice gentle wiggle room in those hips. At your last repetition, find center, press feet into the floor, stand up. Let's hinge to the floor again, and Lauren will then describe our hip positions we'll work with today.
All right, we're hinging. Hips go back, shins stay vertical. Feel that load and stretch through hammies and butt. Once you're done there, tip yourself forward and come on down to our wrist warm-up position, so our hands are underneath our shoulders and our knees under our hips. We're going to do our 3 hip positions. Actually, take a second off your hands and just watch. I'm going to show you them really quick, and then we're going to do them together and hold. First one, hip flexion. Knee deep bend. We pull our knee towards our chest, keeping our tailbone nice and long, and we hold for as long as I say. From there, we'll kick back to hip extension, staying square to the floor. If there was a bowl of water on your back, you wouldn't spill it. Hold. Pull the knee back under us, stay square, lift to the side, hold, back to center. We're going to do that on both sides. So come on down. Get organized with your hands under your shoulders, your knees under your hips. Take your first leg and bend your knee without lifting the knee off the floor. Bend the knee as much as you can, getting your ankle close to your butt. I want you to keep that knee bend the whole time. Tilt your tail slightly towards the ceiling, and then pull your knee towards your chest in that hip flexion, and hold. No rounded spine, staying nice and long. Thinking in its socket, but forward for 4, 3, 2, keep the knee bent, brush it back through center, slowly kick towards the ceiling, squaring up both hips towards the floor and shoulders, feeling that glute engage, keep kicking for 4, 3, 2, now the knee and the leg is going to return to center, and then from center, we'll lift it right out to the side and hold. Here I recheck that those hips are square to the floor. I'm not tipping for 4, 3, 2. Now adductor, pull that leg back to center, put it down, and gently take a second off those hands. And we'll do the same thing on the other side. Hinging, hands underneath those hips or shoulders. Knee bend again, deep knee flexion, hold it tight. Now slowly tilt tail a little bit to the ceiling. Bring knee towards chest and hold for 5, 4, 3, 2. Brush through parallel or center, kicking the ceiling, square up that hip, and fire glute. Go. Kick ceiling. Keep the knee bent for 4, 3, 2. Brush to parallel, keeping it bend, staying square to the floor as we lift that leg out to the side, and hold. Doesn't have to be high, that's okay. 4, 3, 2, pull through center, and gently rest. Whew. I think we're standing up here.
We're getting up one more time.
Out of that down dog. Tucking your toes, tilting the tail towards the ceiling, knees lift. Gently try to straighten those knees for a couple seconds, keeping the tail long. Rebend, walk your hands towards your feet. Hinge to dismount. Shake it out.
Saving that vortex ride for the last. Movement of the head, neck, rib cage, and then hips.
Oh, that was my favorite ride at Canada's Wonderland.
It was. You get to go through the mountain.
Yeah, and it was scary, but not too scary.
And then that water, and then, whew. Anyways. Head
I think
next.
there was water.
Vortex, think of a circle. This time the clock face is on the ground, and we're drawing a revolution around our center. Start in, and from here, slide to that right. But then press your face forward, around to the left. It's a small range out the back. I'll bring the chin in and around again. Here we go. From the right towards the left, back in and around, and last repetition. To the front, to the side, original side, return center, and switch directions. Go left first this time, and then forward, and around the back.
As I'm doing this, I also imagine that my chin is on a serving tray, and it's not dipping lower than that serving tray.
We did movements like this with a small group on a Zoom call the other day, and a question in the audience was, does it sound like Rice Krispies on your end? And it does a little bit, little crack, little pop. Is that okay was the next question. It depends, and in my experience, and Lauren's experience, the more often we do these movements, the less snap, crackle, pop that there is. If it hurts, please stop, but help mobilize through these strategies. Same thing at the rib cage. Maybe wind your base if you're kneeling. The butt squeeze, tension into the floor will help. Squeeze your butt cheeks, slide to that right, and again, let's go to the front. Small range out the front through that T-spine extension, and then around the back, squeeze your shoulder blades together. Make sure you're not rounding the back. Next time, to the front and around. Like the serving tray cue Lauren gave at the head neck. Now the serving tray is here at our rib cage. Last revolution in that direction, return to center, and final round to the left, and then to the front side. Front, that front right corner out there, 3 o'clock, 6 o'clock, 9 o'clock. Nice and controlled, try to touch all numbers on that vortex or that clock here. And last revolution for the rib cage, stability through the low back, and that mobility through the rib cage, return center. Hips, same thing. Let's just try to stand up, and same thing at the hips. Just shoot your energy to the right, to the front, to the back, and out the back. It's not that back extension, so watch that we're not anterior tipping on those hips. Anterior. 1 or 2 more, and if this feels like your dad's warm-up exercise before a run, maybe we're on to something. Maybe we're on to something here. And repeat the other side. To the right, around the back. Can you feel that pull push in the floor? Squeeze your butt cheeks, grip and pull tension through the ground, and last revolution, return center. Let's return to the floor. We'll revisit the hips from standing in a second. We'll take a moment exploring progressions for the swimmer, including our shoulder extension. Lauren will get on the floor to start.
Great. Lying prone.
Down. Watch just for 1 second, it'll be pretty quick. Laying prone, Lauren will have her hands turned up or thumbs in at the hips. With the forehead on a pillow or resting on the floor comfortably, first, we're going to keep the hands flush with the floor and retract the shoulder blades. Next, lift the hands or extend the shoulder away from the floor. Hold for time, 3, 2, 1. Now keep the shoulders together. Let the hands touch the floor first, and then Lauren's going to protract through those shoulders. We can do that from standing as well. The floor provides nice feedback for that. One last cue, the low back, a slight posterior tip to make sure that we're not reaching through that lumbar spine. Repeat about 2 or 3 more repetitions. I'll do the same thing from standing. Join Lauren on the floor if you can. With the palms facing back or thumbs turned in, retract the shoulders, squeezing. Then, tight to the body as you can, stiffened elbows, extend the shoulder, meaning hands away from the floor. Hold for a couple seconds extra, and now pull the hands back to the ground. The fronts of the shoulders stay away from the floor, And then gently protract the shoulders towards touching the floor. Next, retract. Retract shoulder. Extend those elbows. Shoot energy out of the fingertips. Extending the shoulder to the back, holding for 3 more seconds. And then pull the shoulder blades together. Hands return to the floor. Keep the shoulder blades off the floor this time. And for one last repetition, extend the shoulder, arms away from the floor or to the back side for 3 more seconds. Return hands to the floor first and gently let the shoulder blades then round forward. Shoulder blades, again, are those stability joints that allow the mobility and the movement to happen at the shoulder. Check in with that as you do our swimmers. We might get to that a little bit later today. But again, stability through the shoulder blades, mobility, and the same thing, stability through our core as we now explore that mobility from standing with Lauren.
All right, let's get our hip circles rocking.
Hip circles.
Have a balance aid,
Yeah,
unlike myself. It's going to be imaginary right now.
Do you want a chair?
No, I'll make it up.
Okay.
With a balance aid, that means your inside leg is the leg closest to the aid. We're going to join those 3 positions we did in our all fours, but now from standing. So what we're going to do is with our quads in the same line, we're going to bend that outside knee into that deep, thank you, prop manager, bend that outside knee into that deepest hip flexion. We'll pull that, knee bend. We'll pull the knee into hip flexion by bringing that leg to the front. Let's keep our ankle right underneath our butt for now. From there, leg opens to the side, hips are forward, shoulders are forward. The ankle is going to lift off of the leg, and we're going to gently internally rotate and reach the leg around to the back, but keeping the ribs to hip connection and brush to center. Now let's do the same thing to the front again now that we know the move. Keep the knee bend, brush it to front, open to side, ankle still underneath you. Then ankle will leave, internal rotation, hips and belt line staying level as you reach to the back and end up center. Let's try to keep that deep knee bend and stay here and go the other way. Brush back to our hip extension. This time, open the knee to the side, ankle's gonna meet that thigh again. From here, pull the leg to return to center, brush it back behind you one last time. Hip extension, ribs still punching the stomach. Then open up, ankle underneath our body. Pull the leg through center. Keep the deep knee bend, brush to parallel. So quads are parallel right here. And then gently straighten the knee and shake it out. And as much work as it was on this leg, it should be work on that standing leg too to keep that butt engaged. Same thing, second side. Quads stay parallel, tall in the inside leg, bend the outside knee. We went forward for 2. So brush to hip flexion, ankle stays underneath. Open leg side, hips forward. Ankle lifts off leg, internal rotation, kick to the back. Once it's behind you, pull that leg back through center, almost brushing that other quad as you pass by. One more time. Ankle stays under hip as you do this. Open side. Send the ankle off the leg as the femur internally rotates, reaching to the back and back to center. Keep the deep knee bend. Quads are parallel right now. Reverse it. Brush back. Open up in the socket to make that number 4 again at your hips and knee. And then pull through center. Brush. Knee is still bent. Ankles flexed or pointed. Gently open up. Oh, good. Bowl of punch staying as stable as possible. Pull the knee through flexion or front. And then gently bend, kicking back behind you. Once your quads are parallel, then straighten the knee and shake it out. Nice. It's a hard one to put words to. So I hope you understood.
That's a hard one.
It's a hard one in general.
Let's return to the floor. One more time on the shoulders, extension off of the original swimmer. And then we'll take a couple moments, crocodile style, on our breath. Internal rotation on the shoulder, such as putting your hand in your jacket sleeve behind you. Again, one of those things that becomes less easy as we AGE. From here, extend those elbows straight. Retract the shoulders and away from the floor.
Sorry.
Yep. If your hands clear your buttocks, meaning that you have more extension, that they're not going to touch your bum, next what we can do from there is a slight elbow bend and return the back of the hand towards that small of the back. Hold for 2 more seconds. Gently extend on those elbows, straightening out. Shoulders stay away from the floor, return the hands to the floor, and then relax the shoulder blades themselves to the ground. Repeat 1 or 2 more repetitions. First, start with our shoulder blades in retraction. Then, push your hands down and away from the floor, extending the shoulder. If the hands clear the buttocks, then gently bend the elbows, internally rotating on the shoulder. Keep the rib cage down if you're standing, and a little posterior tip if you're lower on the floor. Gently extend those elbows, cramp up those triceps, shoulder blades stay together, return the hands to the floor, shoulders relax for a second. If you're spent, stay there and just enjoy the ground for a second, or join us one more time on that shoulder series. Retract shoulders, stiffen those triceps, and reach down and away to lift from the floor. Hold for a second. Are the shoulder blades still squeezed? If so, bend the elbows, internally rotate, and perhaps climb the spine towards the bra line or T-spine rib cage, and then extend through those elbows. The shoulder blades are still back, and now return the hands to the floor, shoulder blades back, and then gently let the shoulder blades go. From position comfort for you, I'll be in my tall kneel. Maybe it's Lauren in that crocodile style breath.
Oh, sorry, I'm just
Let's
recovering.
just take a couple extra breaths here. From our back, from our front, whatever you wish. One hand belly if you're kneeling like me in chest. Or can you feel, can you feel that distinction as you press or pull into the floor? If I was on the ground, I'd probably make a little tripod for my forehead, just like Lauren, a little pillow there. Yoga block or anything else is appropriate as well. Take a 4-second belly breath in through the nose, filling the belly. And then exhale. Repeat once more, 4-second belly breath in. Whether you press your belly into the floor or fill the belly, then pressing into the floor, exhale. Repeat at the chest, 4 seconds in. And exhale. Then one more, 4-second in. Exhale. Return to the belly, a 4-second breath in. Hold 4 seconds full. Exhale. Let's hold 4 seconds empty. One more time, breath in. Belly fills and hold full for 4. And exhale for 4. Hold empty for 4. Chest breath next. Breath into the chest, 4 seconds. Hold full. Relax your toes and exhale. Also hold empty for 4. Repeat one more time. Breath in through the nose. Fill up the chest. Hold full. Exhale. Hold empty. Last breath. Take a 4-second belly breath in. Hold full. Next, chest breath in. Hold full. And then lightly let go. And exhale. Awesome. Take your time as you get up from that, whether it's your lunge, your down dog, anything you want to make it work. From standing, we'll get into some single leg movement clocks for our balance and loaded shoulder cars in a scap set kind of way. Triceps, shoulder, core, working on that. So here we go. Let's get up. I need a beverage, don't you think there, Lauren?
Clears your space.
Need a little sip of coffee. Some performance enhancing brew.
Okay, we're clocking it first.
Mm-hmm.
Let's warm up our clock, breaking it down a little bit in a forward and a lateral step first. With our feet underneath us, We're just going to prioritize peeling our foot off the floor. Heel leaves ball, toe flick, point front, toe ball, heel land, hips and shoulders face forward. Now press forward into the floor to press yourself back to center. Good. Let's do that same motion on the other leg. Peel, point, toe ball, heel land, press back to center. Adding on to that, back to the first leg, peel off the floor, knees front. Then knee open side, but hips are forward. Point, toe ball, heel land. Knee tries to press over toes. Press forward to come back to center. Other side. Peel, flick, open, point, toe ball, heel absorb, soft, press to center. All right, front, side, 3 rounds. Peel off the floor, toe ball, heel, back heel's heavy, press to center. Peel, open side, toe ball, heel, press to center. Other leg, front, toe ball, heel, press, peel, open, point, land. 2 more rounds. As you're doing this, like we said, those soft landings, that back heel is staying heavy. And for all of these right now, our hips and shoulders are in that square forward position. Right now, you can think about gaining some ankle mobility, opening up your hips, 1 more round of each, working on your balance and stability. Peel, take your time, and purposefully pushing, placing, landing, purposeful action here. We have last one to the side, opening up, toe ball, heel, pew, to center.
Excellent. Finish to the floor. Can we fold? Cues for the fold include standing against the wall. In this case, it's my ballet bar. Extending the head neck towards the ceiling. Pull the crown high and the chin low. And without touching the wall behind you, or doing it like you're in a phone booth, flex through that upper back, grip the floor with the toes, and fold forward. If it feels you're about to tip, bend those knees and continue flexing to the floor and walk out with knees on the floor, all fours. We've been here a little bit in Lauren's wrist warm-up already, and if we need to stay with the 6 points, being the knees, hands, and toes on the ground, maintain that as we build our endurance. If you're ready for a challenge, let's elevate those knees and perform a shoulder car or a shoulder circle here as a scap set under the load. So fingertips are open, long, and wide, elbows straight. From here, hover the knees. Next, elevate the shoulders in a shrug and press the floor away to wrap the blades around the body. Then pull them towards the hips with straight arms and retract. 1 more time. Elevate, shrug, press the floor away, pull down, retract, put the knees down for a second. Take a breath, regrip floor, get those situations and those things just lined up just right. And then repeat in the other direction. Elevate knees. This time, we're going to pull down to the armpits to the hips first, and then press away. That's a small move. Then elevate. Next, retract. Last time, pull down, press away, elevate, retract, and then press back to the down dog. Take your time and try to fold up again as if we're in that phone booth, pulling, stacking. Lightly connect the chin towards sternum. And when the rest of your body is standing, then finish with that head neck. Movement clock series, Lauren.
All right, new corners. We're going to break some rules. Our hips and our shoulders will open this time. First one, so we'll go 45, back 45. Peel the foot off the floor, knees forward. Then it's going to open slightly, point, toe ball, heel, land. We might have that little bit of a rotation in that hip slightly. Press forward to go back. Peel. This time, open the knee first. Then continue with the hip. Then point, toe ball, heel, land. You'll definitely have a new corner here. Press into that corner to come back to center. Explore the other side. Peel, open 45, point, toe ball heel, press center, peel, open first, open more, toe ball heel. Let's continue. We did 3 rounds on the other legs. Let's do 3 rounds. Peel, point, toe ball heel, press to center. Same leg, back corner, open, open, soft landing, press. Second leg, peel, point. That back foot's down. I felt mine come up. Don't do that. Peel, open, soft. Getting aware of how much power you need in order to press yourself back to center. And again, working on those different angles of your ankle mobility and stability. If these steps are too big for you, for whatever reason you're feeling things that you shouldn't feel, make your strides maybe a little bit smaller. I think we have one more time each side.
I think that was 3, but I'm in. I love it.
Okay. I like to think that I'm like a fencer here. Back to center. Last 2 here. And center. I also like to try to get just the right amount of push off so I don't over wobble at center. Nice.
Let's return to the floor, through the fold, and repeat one last time in a high planks position.
Ooh.
Or from your all fours, or with those knees on the floor. Groove those shoulder blades, keep those arms stiff. Return to the wall if you need, or any other physical cue that helps. Go up to the ceiling with the face. Pull the crown high and the chin low. Flex through the spine. Maybe widen your feet as a wider base might be a little more available. And flexion forward, staying nice and tight to the body. From there, walk out. Again, I'll be in my high plank and adjust your posture to either knees on the floor on 6 points, hovering on 4. Elevate the shoulders as a shrug. Next, press the floor away. Then pull them down to the hips and retract. One more time. Elevate the shoulder. Press into the floor. Pull those armpits down. Retract. Knees down. Take a couple seconds. Adjust hands as needed. And one last time. Elevate. From here, we're going to pull the armpits towards those hips, depression of scaps, then push the floor away to protract. Next, elevate, retract, it's a tough one, and down, and press into the floor. Elevate, retract, knees down.
Pull up sweating.
Whew, that's a sweat maker for sure. From here, do a nice anterior tilt of the hips, meaning tailbone towards ceiling. Straighten the elbows, press into the ground through the hands, lifting knees, and then nice and control, hands to feet or feet to hands. Bent knees are okay too. And then flex and extend the spine. Once you're mostly standing, then finish with that head neck and return to center. As we finish today's practice, I'd like to get through 2 movements of the get up. Whether we take a hand across the body or a hand overhead, follow along with Lauren as she cues us through that get up, twice each side.
Twice each side.
Twice each side.
All right. If you're ready, pick up your heavy bell. You could do this with a bell, or you could do this body weight. We are body weight today. Pack your shoulder. If we're going overhead, imaginary press your 100-pound bell. Hold it there the whole time. Leg you can touch. Step back, control descent. Hips are square, soft landing. Front foot opens. Rotate, and then hinge under that bell, pushing your hips back to find the floor with your hand. Shoulders stack. Leg lifts and sweeps from here to your elbow. And now let's take 4 seconds to get to the floor. Press the elbow away from you as you slowly descend to your back. Keep that bell up in firing range. Let's go back up on that side. Use your hip extension, drive into the floor, extend your hip, pull on your elbow. Find your hand, squishing a bug, keeping that shoulder retracted. Bridge to lift, sweep under. Hand leaves floor, front foot moves. and press to tall. If your arm's over your head, pull your bell down. Pull it down. And then switch sides. Same thing, second side. Press your bell over your head. Leg you can touch. Drop back lunge. Tuck those hips, nice soft bending. Front foot opens up. Start that rotation with your upper body, and then drop that hip back. Hand finds the floor. Stack your shoulders. Lift the back leg, sweep to the elbow. 4-second descent. 4, 3, 2, and land. Adjust as needed. Drive your foot into the floor, extend your hip, pull elbow. To the hand, tall sit. Bridge to lift, sweep. Hand leaves floor, hips extended. Front foot moves to the top. Pull your belt down. Engage that lat. Single arm pull up and relax.
Nice. For one last time, can we do it as fluidly as possible as to always move? Under a load, it is very nice to take your time and make those steps very deliberate. But for one last time each side, try to flow that together in continuous movement throughout. Hand over head, Team Lauren, or just across the body for me. Leg we can touch. Nice and slow, drop that back into the lunge. And then once that knee touches, that front leg opens. And then that rotation and hinge almost simultaneously, loading up over the top. Sitting low, transitioning to the elbow, and then pressing away to the ground. Take a quick moment here, but then same conditions up. Hip extend, and you're flowing from one to the next, nice and control. Press and link those positions together. Squaring up and bracing to tall. Return the arm to the ground or the rack. Switch your side, and the last repetition, leg you can touch drops back. Continuous movement throughout. Nice and control through the hinge rotation. Stack, sweep, transition to the elbow, and 4, 3, 2, and then back up. Hip extension, tall sit, sweeping through, pressing away, and up to standing. Wiggle that all out.
Oh, that felt good.
We made it. The camera worked. I feel great. We hope that you feel warmed up and ready or restored from your morning routine as part of our morning routine here in studio. My name's Ian.
I'm Lauren.
Together we stay strong. We train often, up to 6 times a week, live, plus archive content and special features. Right now we're going to film a little workstation series. So some of the movements we did today, we'll be refilming. Everything is the same but different, and whether it's at the gym, at the office, at your home office, stay moving, stay strong, and we'll train soon. Thank you very much. Have a great week. We'll see you soon. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.